Imagine being a bright young prospect on the regional scene and making your UFC debut against Islam Makhachev. Oh, and by the way, you're only 22 years old. Well, that's what happened with Arman Tsarukyan, who made a good account of himself in that fight despite the loss. Since then, he's won 7 of 8, with his only loss a controversial decision against Mateusz Gamrot. This fighter breakdown was really a pleasure to do. Tsarukyan is a joy to watch. He does everything well, which made finding weaknesses quite difficult, but we'll nitpick if we have to. Let's not waste any time. Here is the scouting report for Arman Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan utilizes a wide stance with a high guard. Sometimes he'll paw with the left, but the right is always by his chin. The wide stance and knee bend allows him to shoot with ease, and he has some of the best timing on takedowns you'll see. He's a big, muscle-bound lightweight, but at only 5'7", it's highly doubtful he'll ever move up to welterweight. While wrestling is his bread and butter, he has no issues getting into a kickboxing match. He'll throw kicks to the legs and body, but his favorite kick is the left to the head. He opens almost every fight, if not every round, with it. There's no telegraph on it. He has the mobility to just lift it with ease. It reminds me of the way Dennis Seaver used to throw it. If he wants to generate power, he will turn it into more of a switch kick. How often do you see fighters throwing combos when doing pad work, only to step into the cage and look for a one-shot KO? One thing I like about Tsarukyan's striking is that he's always throwing combos rather than single shots. His diverse striking and wrestling pedigree make him a tough out against any opponent. He doesn't really have the one-strike knockout capability that other lightweights do, but you're in for a long night if you're matched up with Arman. His wrestling transitions are ridiculous. Good luck holding him down for any period of time. Since he's so good at both wrestling and kickboxing, it's hard to classify him as one or the other. In fact, when he's introduced before fights, they reference both styles. There are plenty of good wrestlers in the UFC, but not many possess the bag of tricks Arman Tsarukyan does. Body locks, trips, single legs, double legs, he can truly do everything. What makes him even more of a problem is the exquisite timing he has on his takedown attempts. Some guys shoot and you could see it a mile away, but not this guy. It's an innate skill that's really hard to teach. His wrestling is relentless. It's almost as if he's insulted if he doesn't get his opponent down right away. He changes wrestling beautifully and has a knack for abandoning positions at the perfect time so that he doesn't end up in a precarious way. What he also does is lull his opponents into a sense of security. Here he lets Frivola get up and turn into him only to dump him immediately. He's always one step ahead on these grappling sequences. Tsarukyan is not just an offensive wrestler. He has tremendous takedown defense, which he showcased against one of the best wrestlers in the division, Mateusz Gamrot. His most impressive win may be against Damir Ismagulov. Ismagulov was on a 19-fight win streak at the time, but he really had nothing for Arman in what was a dominant victory. Tsarukyan is a technical striker. There's no fluff on his punches, he doesn't throw wild looping strikes, everything is straight and crisp. He really pieced up Daviamos in the third round of their fight. Here against Yagos, he catches a kick and drops him with a clean left hook which led to the finish. He has nasty ground and pound as well. Against Yoel Alvarez, he was at a massive height disadvantage. Alvarez is 6'3" while Tsarukyan is 5'7". Sometimes long limbs can give fighters trouble, even when they're on top, but Arman bust Alvarez open with an elbow, which spelled the beginning of the end for the Spaniard. Tsarukyan also finished Joaquim Silva with some strong hammer fists from mount. Let's talk about that Joaquim Silva fight. Silva was the only guy that I've really seen hurt Arman, but in this fight was also the only time that I've ever seen Arman impatient. He was a little sloppy trying to get the heavy underdog Silva out of there and left some openings. He gets tagged with a hook, leaving him on wobbly legs, but he was able to survive and secure a takedown. You can get on him for getting rocked by a lesser fighter, but these things happen. Everyone in modern MMA is talented, and sometimes you get caught. Tsarukyan was able to fight through adversity and weather the storm. Tsarukyan possesses all the skills to become a champion, but at the same time seems sort of beatable. While I can't envision anyone dominating Tsarukyan because he is that good, we've seen instances where he does get decisioned. The only downside to his wrestling is that while he has no problem completing takedowns, he sometimes has trouble holding guys down. This is not an issue with lower level guys, but high level wrestlers can get back to their feet. This is the old Yoel Romero syndrome, where you work hard to get the takedown but can't maintain position. One potential hole in his game is conditioning. I mean, look at the guy, he's obviously in tremendous shape, but his relentless wrestling style may leave him susceptible to dropping rounds late. In his fight against Gamrot, there are multiple times late in the fight where he's looking at the clock. This is probably what allowed Gamrot to steal the decision victory because Arman was clearly getting the better of him early on. At only 26, the future is bright for Tsarukyan. Making your debut against Islam Makhachev and holding your own is an impressive feat. Tsarukyan's striking is so much more polished now, they have to run that fight back at some point. If the UFC has taught us anything, it's that if you're marketable and hang around the top 5, you're going to get title shots. Arman is a good looking guy whose English is getting better and better. He's not afraid to speak his mind, which will only help him get more attention. He is without question championship material. I would be shocked if by the end of his career he was not a champion or at the very least an interim champion. What's your opinion on Arman? Comment below and let us know. I'm Sean from the Octagon Observer. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.